So now, through your terms, you've had, how much has the city of Estevan grown, do you think? And what can the future kind of hold for?
Well, we're guessing in terms of the population, because the last census that was done in 2006 or whatever it was, there were a lot of problems with that throughout the whole province. Most of the towns and cities had gone down, they said. And we know for a fact that all of our cities and towns are much busier, so we don't feel that they did a very good job of the census. They did a lot of things in the last census that they didn't do in other censuses before. They didn't really push people to, to get that information in. So we think, according to our figures, that last year was about 12.4, could be as high as 12.4, and at that time was 10. So we're probably up a couple thousand people, and you know how some of these are transient people. They're from Alberta, they're working here, and then they're gone, and so we think we're at least a couple thousand higher.
Okay. And some of the projects that the city's been working on?
Well, we've got a whole bunch of things. In fact, I have a list here that I like to draw from because I usually forget something. But one of the things that I think is important, and we sometimes don't highlight it because we've been doing it now for 7 or 8 years, is the water mains, replacing the cast iron water mains. And we're doing some more again this year. I think 4 blocks in Hillside, and then a part of 6th Street we're replacing the water mains. But this is a 20-year project, and we don't want to stop. We want to do it right through 20 years. Because as soon as you quit for 1 year, it's pretty easy to say we'll put it off, and then we'll be in the problems. It should have been done many years ago. We're doing, as you may or may not know, some of the new members on council, probably a greater emphasis on beautification. So a lot of the things we're doing have to do with beautification. For example, right out here from Souris Avenue all the way to Kensington, we're redoing the boulevards just along the sides, and I believe it's with crushed rock or whatever. But you have some people who take care of their boulevards, water it, cut the grass, and some don't care, and you end up with big mounds and so on. So we're trying to make it look a little nicer along 4th Street, which is our main street.
Right.
We're also working on a new park. We're starting that, I think $500,000 or $600,000 going into parks south of Trojan, the new Trojan area.
Oh, okay.
Along the railway track, well, a little ways away from the railway track. There's a really nice path, or pardon me, park there with a walking path within it.
Oh.
So we're starting phase 1 this year on that. We're also doing, if you know, across from Houston Pizza and 7-Eleven, there's a boulevard along there that was kind of a nice green space, but we've had a problem with a lot of trucks parking in there and wrecked the green space. So we're putting up some bollards, like at the comprehensive school, wooden posts along there, so that we can take that back and reseed it. And I don't know if there's sprinklers going in there. I can't remember if we have actually putting sprinklers there, but take that back and increase the green space, because that's something that we're finding from more and more people that it's important. And we have a little higher challenges in the city of Weyburn. We have much more industrial areas in our city, but that doesn't mean we can't try our best to make it as as nice looking as possible.
Because the main street's kind of what sells us.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to make that
exactly
nicer.
A couple other things we're doing, which I think are important. We're sandblasting all our paddling pools. Our parks, as you know, in the summertime, really the only thing that's citizens, they pay for it directly through their taxes, but you don't have to pay to go to a playground day. Although we have had people in the past that would like to have charged for that, but we were able to hold them off on that. And so these paddling pools, putting a new type of paint in, so hopefully we won't have to do them as often, but that's a big thing in the summertime, these paddling pools where kids can go and have a lot of fun. Another area that, of course, is busy is Kensington Avenue, and we have this new road now coming from Trojan called Rooney Road. That's going to be finished off this year, the intersection with sort of the same as King and Kensington, where you have the cement around the middle, and also lights. There'll be
really?
That intersection will have signals. And included in that will be a walkway that comes down. One of the problems, for example, to get to Walmart, for example, from the comprehensive school or from that whole area there, is you have to walk down the road.
Right.
So tied in with the Kensington intersection will be a walkway, a pathway on the east side. So you'll be able to cross at the lights there from Trojan, walk down this pathway, and then access Walmart and those other places. And similarly then from King and Kensington now, you'll be able to cross there and then come down. So.
That'd be fantastic and a lot safer for.
A lot safer. That's, we've been hearing a lot about that. Yes, I'm surprised nobody's gotten run over yet. So,
Well, hey, you
and that's part of growth, eh?
Yes.
That's part of growth where you have to
Exactly.
follow up with some of these things.
Yeah. All right. Any final comments you'd like to say? Any more projects that you have?
Well, a few others that I'd like to highlight because we took it out of the budget and then put it back in was the CPR Advisory Committee has been trying to get us to do a grade separation study for quite some time, where, you know, you wouldn't be all over Estevan, you wouldn't be stopped by the trains, eh? You know, an underpass or an overpass. And so we had taken that out of the budget and we put it back in, so the study will start because obviously if there's some government money down the road, if you've got everything in place, you've got your study done and you're ready to go, it's a lot easier to access government money when you have a shovel-ready project, so to speak. So that's another area that I wanted to highlight because I think that's important.
So it is a possibility that maybe one day you won't be blocked by a train at all.
Yes, exactly. But it was kind of funny because yesterday I came from Regina and I was in this one area in Regina where a train was crossing, because there are a couple places there, they do have underpasses. And then I get to Weyburn and here's a train as well. So
They just followed you.
yeah,
They knew.
that's right.
All right. Any other projects at all, or?
No, one of the other areas that I should talk about over in the new growth area, because it's pretty close to Walmart, and people ask, what's all these lights, you know,
Yes.
around the corner there?
Yes.
And that's an industrial park. I think we've sold, well, that's where the new Energy Training Institute will be.
Oh, okay.
And I presume tenders are out on that already. And then there's a few other businesses that have bought lots there, and that'll be our first industrial subdivision that'll be paved. So that'll be, I
wonderful.
believe that's to be paved this summer.
Okay.
So that'll be paved. So instead of, you know, if you go into those other industrial areas over there, you usually have to go through some pretty rough roads. And on a day like today, you're sinking out of sight, and so
Yes.
it's paved. So obviously that made it fairly expensive, those lots, but there seems to be a lot of interest in them anyway.
Well, that's good to hear. With the Energy Training Center coming to Estevan, do you feel that that'll help Estevan kind of pull more people in, and then obviously it'll have an effect on our housing more, but
Yes, I think it'll really help businesses. A lot of businesses now send people to different places for, I know for years there, a lot of people used to go to Alberta for training in certain oil-related activities. Now I know we do some at the Southeast Regional College, but this will be set up so we'll be able to do all sorts of energy training. And of course, we are the energy capital. I mean, we have oil, we have the coal miners, power plants, and so on. So if we can do the training here, people won't have to go somewhere else. And then secondly, I think they're looking at it, the possibility of partnering with North Dakota, because why would they have to go somewhere? They could come right across the border here. And so I'm not sure just, you know, their whole mandate, how they're going to handle this, but it looks very, very exciting.
that is. It'll be nice for the Estevan area to have that, because like you said, it'll be training here instead of having to go elsewhere.
Right.
Help keep people in Estevan instead of
Right.
leaving, so. Any final comments?
No, it's just that it's going to be a busy year again. And of course, whenever you're doing road work and water main replacements and so on, it affects the public. And sometimes you'll come to a road and it's blocked, or there's only one lane and you have to go around. And so once again, we're asking the citizens of Estevan for patience. You know, as they always say, it's not without pain. You have to have some pain when you're going through these things, and so sometimes you have to slow down, and we have various things, so we're asking for their patience, and we'll be a better city once we get all this in place.
Perfect. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time.
Okay.
Appreciate it, and